And we're back. Guess who's back? Back again.
Yes, we are.
And
last week's episode, what do you reckon?
Yeah, it was very good episode. Kieran was a fantastic person to have on the show. Got a lot of feedback from it.
Yes.
I saw a lot of commenting on his networks from, the stuff that he said and he did. I got a lot of feedback sent to me direct about it going, hey, that was a really good episode. Really love to hear the insides on reality TV. And a lot of people were shocked that there's cameras while you're taking a shit, but, but it's done wonders for our side of things.
It has.
Because we've launched our YouTube, we've launched our TikTok. The reels are up. People are loving the reels.
Yep.
It's been a really good week in terms of social media for our Two Blokes in the Pod.
Yep, only like a couple of hours in and we're getting some pretty good numbers. So
yeah, well, the first video
Thanks,
that we
guys.
uploaded within an hour, over 3,000 views. So
perfect.
Wow, it's just phenomenal. So again, like we have always mentioned, you can follow us at Two Blokes in a Pod.
Yep.
Two Blokes in a Pod, one word. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Yep.
And now on YouTube.
Oh, fantastic.
Just search Two Blokes in the Pod. So it's a phenomenal way to get things going.
And look, guys, like we plan to go live maybe in the next few weeks or a month or so. We'll work towards that, and that way you guys can interact with us live as well.
That's it. And we're recording our sessions now, so these will all go full onto YouTube. The way that we're talking, the way that we're recording, and it's going to be live on YouTube every week.
Yep. Awesome.
Welcome. How was your week, man?
The week, it was good. Monday's good. Obviously, when we had Kieran on, Tuesday fucking hot, 42 degrees.
Yeah.
We were doing painting an inside house, and I thought, I'll be smart about it. I'll whack the aircon on because no one was living at the house, and
no power.
No, I get on Tuesday morning, and the fucking aircon was switched off by the owner.
Oh,
so it never really cooled down that day. So it was pretty hot working there. And then,
what do you mean switched off by the owner? As in,
so he must have come, had a look at the progress of the job, and he thought, oh man, these guys must have left the aircon on, so he switched it off.
Oh, so you turned it on?
I turned it on the Monday night when we left, thinking because I knew Tuesday it was going to be hot. Right. So I thought, we'll do that. So me and the boys will have a cool day on Tuesday. Well, turns out we didn't, and turns out in a double-story house, the aircon won't work too well in on a really stinking hot day. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
Oh, well done.
And
and then Wednesday was okay.
It was all right, yeah.
And Thursday was a complete shit show with the weather.
Oh, it was, man.
It was. Where did that come from? I don't understand where that torrential rain had come from.
We are getting Melbourne weather in South Australia.
Yeah, well.
And then
I think Australia in general is just getting Melbourne weather, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I was mentioning to you that I had an event on Thursday night that was outdoors.
Yeah.
And I was shitting myself all day going, fuck, it's raining. And then come 8 o'clock, bang, cleared up, no problems, no rains. And we had the biggest number of patrons since before COVID times.
Oh, geez, that's
so I was very stoked. It was very good. But say hi to camera. We're recording tonight. And yeah, this is going to be on YouTube. Very big week. And lots to talk about, lots to have fun about. So what do you reckon?
Get into it? Yep.
Let's do it.
This is Two Blokes in a Pod.
Hey, what is that?
The podcast where, well, it's a bit of this, a bit of that.
I don't understand.
Just blokey laughs and blokey chats.
Okay.
Whatever it is, let's get started.
Yep, that's it. We're here. We're ready to rock. I had someone contact me about a couple of the things that we said last week in Blokes Bits.
Yep.
And they couldn't stop laughing with the story that I gave about the female that wanted to have sex with a woman, but didn't feel comfortable with her husband having sex with another person.
Yep.
And absolutely had a laugh. They told me that one of their mates was in a very similar situation.
Oh, you're joking.
So I heard this live, and I just was shocked. I said, so what exactly happened to him? He goes, oh, look, so the wife pretty much said that she wanted to have a go with another woman, but he wasn't allowed to participate. He was more than welcome to sit there and watch, but he wasn't allowed to participate. And there was a word that Kieran used last week. So he was a cuck, right? And I said to my mate, oh, so he was a cuck. And he goes, what's a cuck? I go, cuckold, like as in he was sitting there watching his woman screw another person or being screwed by another person. And he was just sitting there like, you know, probably enjoying it, watching it, and pleasuring himself. Who knows what he was doing? And he goes, I don't know, man. I don't even know if my mate knew what was going on.
Oh, jeez.
So I'm like, Jesus Christ. But we've got more stories like that later on.
Okay.
Yes, I thought, you know what? That's great stuff for Blokes Bits. But yeah, so big stuff in terms of, like, it's just the two of us tonight.
It is.
So I thought, I don't know, what do we talk about this week? Where are we going to go? And I thought about it, and I go, all right, so, you know, mental health, men's podcast, where are we going to go tonight? What are we going to discuss? And I thought, you know, there's been a couple of situations where I've had to help or assist people, and I'm not just talking men, but women, assist people with, you know, some sort of mental health issue, whether it be, you know, medically related, drug related, family breakdown related, and all that type of stuff. And I'm in no way a mental health practitioner, nor am I a nurse, a doctor, or anything like that. I'm not even a social worker. You know, I work in a social environment through the line of work that I do, but I'm not qualified to be giving any social work support or medical support. So I have to heavily rely on external services. And, you know, just I find that with the lack of government funding into these type of NGOs, non-government organizations, or medical organizations, or offspring whatever, I just find that there are some good ones which raise their own funds or are funded by some corporate sector. But then there's the ones that struggle and can't cope with the amount of medical health required for these unfortunate people. So,
yeah, look, it's sad because, you know, like I said, there are some people, you know, out there like really, really wanting the help, and then, you know, can't afford to go see a therapist. They can't afford, like, obviously you can go through your free, like, funded, you know, either clinics or practices and all that sort of stuff. But there'd be so far and few in between of these people doing it for, you know, voluntary or funded by some sort of government program. They would be inundated with people. And some, you know, maybe when these people need help the most, they just don't have the time or resources to help that, you know, being inundated with all these people. And it could be too late by that point.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know that the government has maybe withdrawn funding from certain groups or organisations, and have put money into, like, the Grenfell Street has a, is it Grenfell Street or Curry Street? I don't know, one of the two, has a urgent mental health department where it's just a walk-in, a 24 hours a day walk-in. But even they're struggling. That's one centre. You know, you've closed down all the, like, you know.
So there's only one centre in SA that does that? Or
the urgent mental health, yeah. So obviously you've still got the major hospitals that you can go to and all that. But, you know, I did a little bit of research into mental health over 2023. Where were the pressures? Why was mental health such a big thing last year, right? And
I could take a guess.
Go.
Cost of living?
Yeah, absolutely. Top. Yeah. Yep. So fewer Australians are feeling confident in their ability to meet normal monthly expenses. That was a whopping. So in 2022, 52%. Last year in 2023, an absolute whopping statistic, 85% of mental health issues were, 65% of mental health issues, I'm looking at the wrong one, 65% of mental health issues were related to financial issues.
Hardship,
Cost of living. The rising cost of living, so 58% increase on mental health. Housing costs having a big impact on mental health, 41% increase. Cost is a barrier to receiving mental health support, 25% increase.
What I was saying before.
So absolutely...
people could be wanting the help but can't afford to get it. I've said this before, even little not little things, but my mortgage, for argument's sake, has gone up almost double per week in the last, since it started going up. And where does that money come from? So you start stressing out, it's just, what do I pull? I don't want to stop doing that. I don't want to stop doing this. I still want to live with my family, all that sort of stuff. Where people that don't have, savings for a rainy day or are blessed to have, an income that can sort of sustain that up to a point, but, where does this other money come from? It just stresses the fuck out of you.
So if we look at average overall adults that are 14 years plus, right? And we look at the different sectors of, who suffers the most from mental health, what would you say? Now, we're just not talking sex here, but we're talking different groups or different sectors of our society.
Are you going by race? You're not going by gender?
No, but everything. Not so much race. More so like, all right. So, for example, your average adult.
Oh, so right? From age between,
and then your LGBT community, First Nations, women. So these are the groups that have been statted here, right?
Okay.
So average male adult, LGBTQI, First Nations, women, 18 to 39-year-olds, carers, mental health condition diagnosis, or
I would say
mental health practitioners,
18 to 39-year-old.
Right. So you're saying that's the highest?
I would say so.
Yeah. So the highest overall, we're talking now. So, on a scale of whatever, 6.7% is the highest, which goes to the average male, is the biggest group that suffers from mental health, followed by women at 6.6% and low-income earners at 6.6%.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
Then followed by 18 to 39-year-olds, LGBTQI, and the First Nations. But when you look at the same groups, rising cost of living is having a big impact on mental health. The First Nations are the ones that are suffering the most when it comes to, that. And then that's then followed by the 18 to 39-year-olds and the carers, right? So these same groups, the biggest group to face barriers on accessing mental health support is the First Nations by a whopping 76%, then dropping down to 65% for the LGBTQI and again, the same group, 18 to 39 and carers. Now, to me, carers is one of the harshest jobs. If you're a carer,
I think so,
of a disabled person or a mentally unwell person or anything really that's medically diagnosed, and you are a registered carer for this person, you don't get that big support. Yes, there's carers that say, and there's a whole bunch of voluntary groups that can assist you with little bits and pieces. But can you imagine the mental health, the strain?
Well, you're responsible for taking care of this person, this one particular person, or multiple people, depending on what your shift is and whatever, that's suffering from either like mental health or disability or whatever. But then you're also got to take care of yourself. You also got to take care of your family. So, say for some people, like they would have struggles at home, multiple family members at home would suffer from mental health or some sort of illness. Some would say that going to work is your escape. And then if you're in that sort of sector like of work, you're going from home, that people are suffering there, if not yourself, then you're going to work and dealing with the same thing. So you never have that outlet, never have that, not time off, but change of scenery for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
These people aren't getting that. So they're the ones really that are fucking, they need the help and they just don't have time to get it.
Mate, absolutely. Hands down. Hands down. Same report has mentioned that more than 2 in 5 Australians aged 16 to 85 years old, so that's 42.9% of our Australian population.
So it's,
that's almost 50%. Almost 50% of our population have experienced a mental health disorder in their lifetime, with 1 in 5 Australians, so 21.5%, experiencing a mental health disorder in the previous 12 months. So we're talking the last 12 months, according to findings released by the ABS. That's a huge chunk, man.
So do you know what they're basing it on? Like, what could be what would they classify as?
So they're saying
disorder?
Anxiety was the most common group of mental health disorders in 2021 to 2023. More than 1 in 6 Australians had an anxiety disorder such as social phobia or post-traumatic stress disorder in the previous 12 months. 7.5% of people had an affective disorder such as depression, while 3.3% had a substance use disorder. So 3.3% of that overall total is drug-related mental health issues. But the rest is actually, a problem. I mean, not that
drugs
isn't a problem, but
something's not self-inflicted, I guess.
Like, we're living in an age of social media, social information, and like quick information to hand. And you have people that have a social disorder, a social phobia.
What age bracket was that based on?
So that was based on 18 to, 16 to 85 years old. In general, that's that's the biggest population.
And you got to be careful again on social media. Like we were talking about with Kieran last week. He's had some success, a great deal of success on social media, but there's always going to be those trolls, haters, whatever. They're going to be on there and try and drag you down, and you can't really escape it because that pretty much 90% of his work, I'm assuming, is just a social media presence.
Absolutely.
And people, I remember back when I went to high school, there were so when I was in year 9, year 10, year 11, when I was in year 8, there was a suicide, one of the kids. And when I was in year 9, there was another suicide, and when I was in 10, there was another suicide. We didn't really know why and what happened, but I could probably take a stab in the dark here and say
bullying
on social media at school. I didn't know these people personally, but I knew of them through the yard. Norwood High was a big school, but you're just got to be careful. Like little things, you talk to people, talk to them nicely. It's not that hard to just be kind to one another. All right, you can have jokes here and there and like bullshit, but something that could be so meaningless to you, you say something on social media, fucking once it's on the internet, it's there forever.
Yeah.
It could fucking fuck someone up.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%. So going on with the statistics that was shown, that was delivered, around 1.1 million, so 38.8% of young adults aged 16 to 24 have experienced mental health disorder in the last 12 months. Almost half of the young females and 1/3 of the young males aged 16 to 24 had a mental health disorder in this period, with anxiety disorders being the most common. Yeah. Now, nearly 3 in 5, so we're talking 3 in 5 now, so that's a big chunk.
Big number.
Who identify as gay, lesbian, or bisexual, or have a different term to describe their sexual orientation, had a mental disorder in the previous 12 months. 1 in 5 people who identified as heterosexual had a mental health disorder. So, it's given a breakdown on even if you're not, part of the gay and lesbian community, those people still experience mental health disorder, maybe whether it be to a bad breakup, whether it just be to, a pretty controlling relationship, male or female. It's wow.
It's a real thing.
That's a massive problem. Care. Okay, so some notes, and definitely, we really, really are big on this. Care should be taken when reporting on mental health, ill health, and suicide. So, guys, one thing that I'm very, very big on, if you are having those thoughts, you need to talk to someone. I understand sometimes it might be too difficult to talk to someone. I have discussed this many times on this podcast. I urge you to talk to someone. Either pick up the phone and call one of the lines, like 1-800, 1-800, I was going to say 1-800 Respect. That's a DV thing. But like call Beyond Blue, call Black Dog Institute. There's so many mental health places that can help you. Call them. That's what they're there for. They're there to listen to you and help you. Even if you're having very bad thoughts, call the mental health triage and say you need someone to come and help you.
Yep. It's a simple phone call.
I cannot stress that enough. Massive, massive. Hey, there's a group going around at the moment, and I've sent them a couple of messages and trying to get them. They're an Adelaide-based group called Chin Up Mental Health.
Yep.
Right? A guy's going around called Cameron, and literally just going up to random people and just giving stuff to them. The other day, random guy, $50, just keep it. I'm here to help with mental health.
Oh, it's nice.
It's like, and I'm trying to get him on so we can discuss this in depth and a bit further.
Mm-hmm. That would be good.
Just so we can get his view on what he's trying to do and what he's trying to achieve with his program, with his company. I think it's phenomenal. Yeah. We need more like that. We need more people in this world that give a shit about people with mental health.
And even just what I was just saying before, it's not really that hard just to be nice to someone, is it?
Not at all.
And even when I roll into work and I see other tradies on site, always, how you going, mate? How you going, mate? How's things? Yeah, good. It's just little things like that. Just someone could just had a fight with a missus or had a fight with someone they care about and whatever, and they come to work feeling like shit and don't want to fucking talk to anyone. And one guy, the other week, there was a few tradies on site. Like, it was near the end of the day. It was a bit hot, and I've got a trailer and I keep a fridge in there. And there's always
stocked with beers.
There's always stocked with beers, man. Stocked with beers, Coke Zeros and waters. I always say to people on site, help yourself. Like, just little things like that. And I said to all the boys, there's probably like 10 of them on site. I said, anyone fucking fancy a beer, mate? They're like, yeah, all right. This was after work. Mate, it's not that hard. Little things like that. Just, you want a coffee? I've got a coffee machine there too. It's decked out killer. But, I keep a coffee machine, microwave, and a fridge. And I always say to people, if you want to keep your shit cold on a hot day, chuck it in there. You want to warm up your food, go in there, have a look. You want a coffee, make yourself a coffee. Little things like that. For me, doesn't bother me. If you want it, killer. And everyone gets along on site.
Yeah, awesome. Especially in a job like that.
Yeah, man, you always want to... Man, everyone's in there to finish building a house. you know, and you got to get along with people because you're going to be with them for a few months on end.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, so
that's right.
Just keep it harmonious. And should have a good quality house.
So, tell me, like, you know, growing up in a school, you know, you made mention last week that. You know, in certain parts of your schooling life, especially before going to St. George, where everyone's Greek, you know, you were harassed or bullied as the
only
token wog.
Yep.
Right? So, you know, going back on that, you know, how did that make you feel?
Look, at the time, it was fucking hard because we moved around a lot. You know, we... from Adelaide went to Mount Gambier, came back to Adelaide, you know, did my schooling, whatever, started my apprenticeship, then moved to Sydney and came back. So I moved around a bit. And I remember, so there were these two kids, and we're talking like reception, year 1 or something like that. Anyway, yeah, because I was the only like European at this school at the time, I copped it. You know, they used to chase me and all that sort of stuff.
And were these kids in your class or older?
In my class.
Yeah, right.
As fucking 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, or 6-year-old, whatever it was. And me, at that age, you didn't know what...
You wouldn't understand.
Didn't understand. Like, we're all born here. Like, I didn't think any different. And, so ended up... me leaving the school because it just got too much, and I went to St. George. Anyway, whatever, years later, I was only at St. George for a couple of years, and then we moved again, and I went to Trinity Gardens. So that was still like a bit of a wild community there. Years later, I was living in Sydney, so I was about 18 at the time, and I get a random inbox on Messenger, and it was one of the kids from that school. He goes, "Hey mate, not sure if you remember me." I fucking knew exactly who he was. He goes, "Hey mate, I'm not sure if you remember me, but when you used to go to this school, I wasn't very nice to you, and it wasn't cool, and I just wanted to reach out just to apologise." He goes, I'm involved in a church and all that sort of stuff, and he completely has turned his life around because he must have had a shit sort of life. But yeah, for me, like, I remember it was pretty harsh, but it was nice to hear years like we're talking 10, 12 years later. He reached out to me on social media and just wanted to apologise. And I was like, fuck, yeah, well, I acted like I didn't remember who he was, but I remembered, I knew exactly who he was.
Yeah, the name was stuck in your head.
Oh, big time. And he reached out and apologised for everything that he did and everything that he got the other kids to do. Because he goes, I was stupid, young, I didn't understand. And
see, and that's the thing though, like,
where does that fucking come from,
It makes me wonder, at that age, how would you know how to be a racist bully prick?
So
we're talking 7, 8 years old. My son would have no idea what racism is, right? Because I'm not racist around him. I try not to be racist at all, but we're blokes, we're Aussie blokes, and we often do make our little bit, like. I'd be racist to my Italian mate all the time.
Yeah,
but that's a mutual respect thing.
That's a bit different. Yeah.
But I don't discuss or be negative about racism in front of my child, so he has no clue what racism is, and it's not like he's going to go and pick on someone at his school because they're a whole different culture to him.
No.
So where would that have come from? And obviously that we know where it comes from, home.
Yeah, it's obviously home. So he must have had a shit sort of upbringing, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And maybe his dad would have said all this sort of shit to him as a kid, and then he'd come to school being fucking wired.
But I know that, you know, and I look at it at my job as well, that when I walk into someone's home and the parents are real rough around the edges, the child normally ends up being real rough around the edges too. Arrogant, full of attitude, just a shit show.
Yeah.
Just a shit show.
It's
everything starts at home.
100%.
If you don't teach your children respect at home, they will never learn respect. Teachers don't teach respect.
No.
Teachers educate.
Correct. Oh, look. To an extent, like, you know, if I turn around and we're in the same class together, you fucking wog or whatever.
Oh, different.
The teacher should then step in.
Absolutely
You know.
different. But what I'm saying is the general rules of being a good human being starts at home.
Correct.
Right?
What do they say? It takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if there's only one person in your village, well, then you're not getting raised very well, are you?
Yeah. So, you know, like, okay, but even children that are from a broken marriage, right? When they see the animosity between two parents that have had a really bad split or divorce, they're naturally not going to turn out the best.
No. Well,
right?
No.
But again, if one parent remains calm, has their disagreements with their ex-partner away from the child, but shows nothing but love and respect to the child, then hands down, that child will be raised to, you know, show some good stuff.
No, look, yes and no, I agree with you there. Like I say, my parents, they divorced when I was, 13, I think. I mean, my younger sister, Michaela, she would have been 6 or 7, right? So she's not, most of her life, she's known that my parents were never together, right? So and like we turned out all right, you know. So it's just, it's up.
That's what you think.
Well, I'll speak for myself. Right? But, you know,
I think your sister turned out all right.
She's all right.
There's a bit of an issue there.
Yeah. Well, I like to go to work and smell paint fumes, you know, but whatever. No, all right. So, no. If that's, I don't know if that's successful or not. No, look, I think it's up to the individual. Like even Katrina says this sometimes. Like, you shouldn't, like she says about just generalizing. Like, you shouldn't really blame your upbringing and use it as an excuse to be a fucking shit person. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, I agree with that. But
if they don't know any better,
yeah,
like, it'll be a bit more difficult. But then you got to sort of find your moral compass.
I believe that deep down in every single human being, there is a good person.
100%.
Every single human being. We're not raised to be assholes.
No.
It's the environment that we're in that makes us assholes.
And then, you know, you could be there just to impress your mates.
Yeah. Oh, look.
And you do that shit all the time.
There's been many times where I've tried to be part of the cool kids, right? And, you know, it's difficult in my situation because I'm always the cool kid. But, you know, that was a joke. Where I'm going with that is, you know, growing up, I had a whole bunch of different group of mates. I had my schoolmates who then evolved into a few extra people that never went to school with me but were associated with my schoolmates, and we all became close mates.
Yeah.
I then had, you know, my cousin and his mates. That was a really big group for me too. And then obviously I had, you know, my sporting mates. I had my, you know, other group of mates that I would do, you know, events and Greek nights and DJing and all that type of stuff with, right? So I had a very big group of mates. And sometimes our outings would clash where one group of mates would want to go do this and then another group of mates would want to go do that and invite me to that. So I was stuck going, fuck, who do I go with? Who do I go with? And then you have, you know, both groups of mates, who's better, who's more important to you and rah, rah, rah. So, you know, you're made to feel like shit to the point where it's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm sick, I'm staying home tonight. Because you couldn't choose which group of mates to go out with.
Yeah.
And that's the honest truth. There have been moments where, you know, the anxiety was so much for me. It's like, fuck, if I don't go out with this group of mates,
they're going to ditch me.
Then they're going to ditch me.
Yeah.
And then if I don't go out with them, I'm going to miss out on doing, this and that and all the cool shit that they do.
Yeah.
Both my groups were very, very different.
Yeah.
One was a more chilled. The other one was more like, let's go out and party type group.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sometimes it'd get so much for me that I would just pretend I'm sick and I'd stay home.
Yeah, fuck it.
And now I look at it and I go, fuck, I was a wank when I was a kid. Like, I was an absolute wanker because I'm like, you know what? You should have just gone with the flow, done whatever. Hey, why not go half a night here and half a night there? Or, or just say, sorry, guys, but you know what? I've already got plans tonight. I can't fucking do your last minute shit.
Oh, no, you ask all my mates, they all nickname me the wanker for so fucking long. Because I just sort of, as I grew up, I just had a fucking thick skin and I really didn't give a fuck who I pissed off. Like, I never really thought about, it's not that I didn't think about how it would make other people feel. It was me not caring what people thought about me, and I would do what I wanted with who I wanted, whenever I wanted.
And see, that's where I was very different because I was raised by two Greek parents that were always like, disapune, like, what are they going to say? What are they going to say? And that's...
Oh, that's stock standard.
That was running through my head.
Oh, no, that's stock standard.
What are they going to say about me? What are they going to say? So I always had that anxiety in me. Now, I'm 40 years old and I don't give a fuck what anyone says about me because I know that the most important things in my life are under my roof at home.
Correct.
Right? And that's all that matters to me. I don't give a shit what anyone says, So it's like, it's taken a long time to get to that step. Yeah. But growing up, I was the people pleaser. I had to make sure that everyone around me was pleased. But I never got anything in return for that. And it took me a long time to understand that, hey, hold on a second. Life is not about pleasing everyone. You also got to look after yourself. It took marriage and kids for me to understand that. So, obviously now I'm in a better place. And look, I'm not saying that if you were to call me at some weird fucking hour of the night and say, Valandi, I'm stuck, man, I need help. You're the closest person that I can think right now. I'm not saying that I'll say, fuck you. No.
Oh, no.
Right?
No.
I will drop things and come and help you because, that's what we do for mates. But I'm not going to go out of my way.
A social call.
Yeah. I'm not going to go out of my way to please someone.
Yeah.
When I have more important things to look after and attend to.
And I've been there in the past where, your mates would ask you to help them out or family members might ask you to help them out and then you go do it. And then when it's for you, like your turn, not that you keep score, but when it's to be reciprocated, they're nowhere to be found. And it's just, and that's where I sort of thought, you know what, man, I've done fucking so much for this, say, I don't know, this particular person. I've done so much for this particular person, and I asked for one fucking thing, and you're not there. So that's where I sort of, I'm like, you know what? I will make time for you if you're willing to make the time for me.
Oh, 100%. And going back to last week's episode, Kieran mentioned something about, how he's been dicked in life, where he helps people out of the kindness of his heart do something, grow, whatever, or, with a particular project, whatever it may be. And then after they get to that point where they are really well off and, got everything they
you
want
in the dust,
and all
mate.
that, not only do they leave you in the dust, they turn around and say, you never helped me.
Yeah. Well, they just pretend.
You did nothing for me.
Yeah.
When poor Kieran has been sitting there, like, sweating every bit of his body to make this work and happen for that person. So, I've been in that situation where I have given my soul to people to help them do something. And then when I've asked for a little favor...
And it's something small.
Small? Mate, even smaller than small. It's microscopic, the favor that I've asked for, right? Whether it be like, oh, can you just share and like this page, for example?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
It's like you're just trying to get ahead in life, right? And it's even like, say with my, just my business page, right? It's like, man, like this is when I was first starting out, and I was just putting out heaps of content. Now I'm fucking lazy. I barely put anything on my work page, right?
You will once you get that drone up and flying.
Yeah, right. But it was in the beginning, you'd think the people that would help you post and this and all that, no. And you've been there for their successes, for their whole sort of journey, and then when you're asking for one thing, it's like, hey man, can you just, you just share this?
Yeah.
I've just painted this killer house. Like,
do you know, this brings me to a great topic. Now that you've brought it up, what is it with family and the general community when it comes to running your own business, right? Now, I'm a very big, I'm not taking on family as clients person, right? I've been burnt before, and like with my DJing services, right? People expect you to do it for free. But it's like, hold on a second. I'm only invited to this party, even though we're family. I'm only invited to this party because you want me to DJ. Yeah. Had I not been a DJ, would I be here? Yeah. Would I be invited to this party? But they still expect you to do it for free. And then when you say to them, yeah, no worries, I'll do it for you. I'll give you a discount too, and say, oh, I'll charge you $500, where normally I charge $750, for example. And they're like, oh, 500. Oh, sorry. Oh, I thought you were going to just bring your equipment and play. I go, no, it doesn't work like that. Because you're not inviting me as a guest. Yeah. You're inviting me as the DJ.
So I'm not going to hang out with the cousins and shit like that.
But then it goes back to Facebook and spreading the word of my business, right? I ask family to spread the word of my page and just invite their friends and this and that.
Oh, it's like pulling out fucking teeth.
Exactly. It's like pulling out teeth. It's like taking fucking milk away from a baby.
Yeah.
Are you fucking serious now?
No.
Like, all I'm asking for you is 2 seconds of your damn time to go click the 3 little dots, right, and invite your friends. It automatically invites 1,000 people from your list.
Yeah.
And if you don't have 1,000 people, even better, we'll capture everyone.
Yeah. No, it's
Thank you very much to the people that have seen our post on Facebook.
Yeah, thanks.
And
that's not for everyone.
and have shared. I am thanking the people that have taken their time.
Yeah. Because there have been plenty of family members, on my part anyway, there have been plenty of family members that have, and thank you.
Oh, look, and you know what? A big shout out to your family, because I've seen a lot of your family have been posting and sharing our page.
Yep.
So, there are those wonderful people in that community, in that family circle, that do actually
give a shit,
give a shit and want you to succeed. And you know what? We're not asking you to go out of your way so we can be successful, because if we be successful, like whether it be with our business or whether it be with this podcast or whatever, it just makes everyone happy.
Like, man, I'm getting calls all the time. Yeah, fuck. Like a mate of mine, shout out to Benny, all right? He goes, man, I went through, this was a few days ago, and he goes, I went back to the start and listened to every single one of the podcasts. And he goes, he goes, what?
In like 2 to 3 days.
Yeah. In 2 to 3 days, he fucking, he went through and listened to all of them. He goes, White Christmas was killer. Tech Heads was awesome.
Yeah.
So.
And see,
and then he was talking about, when I was talking about the IVF thing, he goes, man, it was just so like, man, amazing. Like, And
how many people have we had comment saying that episode has hit hard because we went through that same thing?
Yeah.
And it was just funny. Like, a lot of people have said, your friend who said, I never imagined hearing your voice on my car radio talking about the female uterus.
Yeah, the cervix or something.
Yeah, the cervix or whatever. And I still think of that and laugh. And there's a lot of people out there that are going, fuck, man, I never actually thought I would be listening to a podcast where you talk about shaving and cleaning your balls. And I'm like, hey, big shout out to Manscaped if they're listening. We wouldn't mind a bit of product. But you know what I mean? Like, this is a podcast where we can be ourselves. We can open and express ourselves. We could talk about anything we want because it is an open format. It's an open platform where, you know.
So, yes, it's based around men's mental health. But if there's a topic that comes up, we'll just go with it.
Yeah, no, and you know what? I think this podcast eventually will evolve where it's going to be about mental health and general health, like not just men. I mean, yeah, we're two blokes in the pod, but look at all the people we've discussed with so far.
And it's not just males.
It's not just males. You know, we've had a female politician on the program and we've got heaps more lined up for the rest of the year. So I think, you know, two blokes in a pod is going to evolve one day. And it's the way that we want to roll. We want to roll. We're still going to stick to our fundamentals and the core reason why we started this podcast. But I love it. I love the way that, you know, we get to involve people. We get to talk to the community. We even get ideas from the community. You know, I don't know if I should bring this up now or wait for Bloke's Bits, but
I'll bring it up, and then if we roll it into Bloke's Bits.
Because I was talking about certain things last week, someone sent me a pretty funny link, which is 24 things people wish they'd learned about sex a whole lot sooner. So what do you reckon? Should we leave it? Should we leave it for Bloke's Bits?
Yeah, may as well.
All right. But yeah, so going back onto, you know, sharing of businesses and all that. End of the day, I believe that a business starts just like manners and, you know, the way a human should be starts at home. That's also where a business starts, in the outer home. So the wider family.
Well, you started by doing work for friends and family, right? And then, you know, hopefully they will tell their friends, and those friends will tell those friends, you know, and it's, you know, Adelaide's a small place. So, you know, it always starts with doing work for your family and friends. So, you know, shout out to, you know, any family members that I've done work for. So thank you. You've been a part of my business success, and you know who you all are. And you know, but then there are some people that you think, oh, you know, I could have done something for them, but then they got someone else. But it's like, whatever. It is what it is. I'm not really fussed about it now.
Yeah. Nah, it's crazy stuff. But you know what? Massive shout out, big thanks to everyone who has supported me as a DJ, as an MC, as just me, as Valandi. And you know, things can only get better from here. So
that's right.
I just had a update, news.com, a woman, so this has just popped up on my phone. A woman in her 20s has been attacked by a shark in Sydney Harbour. What the hell are sharks doing in Sydney Harbour?
See, I remember, like, when I used to live in Sydney, you'd see, obviously, like trevallies, like they're you know, decent-sized fish, and a shitload of jellyfish. I would have never have thought in a million years there'd be sharks in there. Not in Sydney Harbour?
Yeah.
No. Wow. Did she survive?
That's scary. I don't know. I haven't read the news report. It just popped up on my phone.
Wow.
Must be pretty huge.
I mean, that was like when I was at, I don't know if I said this in the last few episodes or not, but when I went to Wallaroo for New Year's, it was a few days before I went there, on the peninsula there was that young kid that got killed by the shark. Yes. And then when I was up there, I was on the Katrina's cousin's jet ski for ages, and I'm always like just sketching out, you know, is there a shark in the water? Like, we went out pretty deep, and my biggest fear is a fucking shark. And anyway, we did our thing, whatever, went away. We left sort of Wallaroo, and then a few days later, that old bloke got clipped by a shark, and they took a big chunk out of his And that was only a few days after I left. I was like, fucking hell, man. Like, look, I understand it's and he brought up that debate of culling sharks. It's like, mate.
I don't know.
I'm not for that. Like me personally, because at the end of the day, we're in their fucking backyard.
Well, that's right. And
at their own
what's
risk.
culling sharks going to do? Honestly, like you can't stop them from coming to the bay.
Man, how many fucking eggs? How many eggs does a fucking fish lay?
Yeah, exactly.
Culling a shark here and there is not going to fucking do anything.
What needs to happen is they need to invest more in shark nets. Just put them up.
Yeah, like they work and they don't.
It won't solve the problem wholeheartedly, but it will stop certain percentage.
And they're cutting fucking funding on mental health. They're going to put it into fucking shark nets.
Yeah, well, most people with mental health go to the beach so they can, like, you know, soak in the water and keep themselves. Oh, honestly, do you know how therapeutic the beach is?
Oh, fucking amazing! It was like today because I'm working at West Beach. I'm doing a house in West Beach, mate. Going along the Esplanade there, it's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, but like a lot of people actually walk out onto the sand, sit there, dip their legs in the water, and you know what? Anxiety really gets, you know,
flushed out.
Flushed out, exactly, yeah. But full on. I'm just looking here. So it seems like she got pretty bad bites and is bleeding heavily, and then it stops. So it says more news to come soon.
Oh, shit.
So they don't really know the full picture of what has gone on. We're about to hit World War III, I reckon.
Oh, mate.
So there was deaths over in the Gaza Strip of American troops. And I think Biden is about to release some nuclear weapons.
Oh, please.
3 soldiers were killed in the arms of Iran's Axis resistance.
Bloody Biden wouldn't even know what button to press, mate. Honestly. That bloke's a joke.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. What do you reckon? Bloke's Bits?
Let's get into it.
This is
Bloke's Bits.
Bloke's Bits.
You know when you recorded that, like, what were you saying to the boys?
So I said to the boys, all right, what I need you to do each is I just need you to say, this is Bloke's Bits.
Yeah.
And they're like,
cropped it up.
Yeah. And then I said, all right, so one each and then together. So that's what we did. I got them
How
to
many
say,
takes?
No, not one take each.
Oh, bravo.
Honestly.
Well done, boys.
I just said, all right, James, I need you to say, this is Bloke's Bits. Okay, Dad. So I gave him the microphone. This is Bloke's Bits. And then Thanasi did the same. And then I just cut the first bit, mashed it up together, and then we all said the last bit together. Yeah.
Awesome.
It was great. They when they actually listen to instructions.
Oh, when kids listen, wouldn't that be bloody...
Do you know what's hilarious? So I know this is funny because we got told that, you know, the car park talk, right? So to our listeners, we had a soccer coach meeting tonight.
Yeah.
You know, pre-recording, and the director's sitting there going, you know, I'll give you an example of Greek talk, and he goes, "There's this thing where people sit in a meeting and they agree with the director or they agree with ideas in the meeting. Yeah, killer. Yeah, no problems.
Yeah, no worries, lad.
Yeah, no worries. And then the second they walk to the car park, they're all talking with each other like, fuck, what a wanker that bloke was. Like, what the fuck was he talking about? All that trash and shit. You know, and I pissed myself laughing. Like, not that I do that, but I have been in that situation where I walk away and someone will go, what the fuck was he trying to say?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, I find that funny with things, and I actually lost where I was going with that story. Why did I bring that story up?
I got no idea, but
what
did
were we
happen.
talking about?
With Politi?
No, like that was the. I raised that because I was going to say something.
I'm not a mind reader.
Where the hell was I, man?
I don't know.
Oh my God, I've completely gone blank with what I was going to say. Can you believe that?
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, well, Kieran, don't edit this one. Shit, I've completely gone blank. All right, so trash talk. Let's go. I'm going to bring it up.
Try and keep PG.
Nah, stuff PG. 24 things people wish they'd learned about sex a whole lot sooner. Now, mind you, this is from a female on the BuzzFeed staff who's written this document. Now, I don't know whether it all relates to females or males.
Yep.
But I'm just going to go through it. Let's go through the top 10, and we'll see how we go. All right. So number 1.
Yep.
Size does matter, just not the way we're made to believe. Thoughts?
Oh.
I will say the statement. Okay. You give me your thoughts, and then I'll explain what they've written.
Okay. I mean, if you had like a really small one, it wouldn't fucking do anything for the female, surely.
Okay. Is that your thoughts?
Oh, yeah. No?
I don't know.
What are your thoughts?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? What, you're going to ask me the questions? You're not going to...
Oh, look.
You're asking the questions.
I think... It's not about the size, it's about the motion in the ocean.
Oh, so you're saying it's not about the size, it's the way you use it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's the way you use it.
Fair call.
Their description is every woman's vaginal canal is different. A large penis for a woman with a shorter canal will most likely cause pain and discomfort, and penetrative sex will never be enjoyed.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, yeah, well, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So that's what it's... Anyway. Number 2. I don't like talking about penis sizes because it makes a lot of men uncomfortable. You know, talk to me if you want to know about big things, but you know. Number 2, that it's okay to not think about sex all the time.
Or how can you think about it every single day? Or not?
Yeah.
Sorry, not every single day. Every single second of the day.
Oh, that's right. You know, I just find that I think you're unwell if all you think about is sex. Like
nymphomaniac.
Yeah, nymphomaniac. Like,
you know
there is no way we can add a das.
You know where what?
There's no way we can add a das.
All day I dream about Stamati.
No. All day I dream about
all
sex.
Day I dream about Stamati. It's a thing.
Yeah. I'll make sure I never wear Adidas.
Yeah, you know where I learned the word nympho from?
On your way to Perth.
On my way to Perth?
Yeah. Have you never heard about the Great Australian Nympho in the outback?
What?
Along the Nullarbor nymph.
No.
Really?
No?
Fuck, are you serious?
Yes.
There's an old Australian myth.
Right.
That there was a nymph who lived along the Nullarbor. Do you know what the Nullarbor is?
Yeah.
The long strip
of
between South Australia and Western Australia.
Yeah.
Right? Mm. And there was a nymph that lived in the Nullarbor. And people would drive past and she would just root everything that would drive past.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I've never been to Perth.
Okay, well, that's when I found out what a nymph was.
No, is that a 50 Cent song? Was it Candy Shop?
Oh, Candy Shop?
Yeah, and I first heard the word nympho in there. I'm like, what's a nympho? So I looked it up. I'm like, oh, okay, gotcha. Makes sense in the song.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, it says here, and that virginity doesn't define you. I was 24 when I lost it, and it was because I was tired of the stigma behind it. Mm-hmm. I also didn't enjoy having sex, but enjoyed masturbating. Society put so much emphasis on having sex and being sexual, and those of us who really couldn't care less are made to feel like a pariah. Do you know, I have to agree with the fact that it is a pressured topic. Mm. Like, you know, when you're younger, and let's say you're 16, 17, and a lot of your mates have experienced sex and all that, like, fuck, I wasn't that lucky.
Yeah, and if you haven't, then you look like the biggest idiot.
Yeah, you know, it's like, you know, the 40-year-old virgin all over again type thing. Yeah. But, you know, you just, you get made to feel a bit left out. Oh, he hasn't had sex. Well, hang on a second. You know, there's a lot of reasons behind that. I don't have to have sex at 16 to be a fucking human, right? Well, these days, probably 13. Sex is just becoming more common in the younger crowds. But no, look, I agree with that. That, you know, it's a topic that causes a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
And then when eventually you do get to that stage where you get to experience it, you fucking don't know what to do because you've got all these ideas in your head of the way others did it. And look, my tip of advice to people listening. or watching is do it in your own way. Do it in your own way. Don't listen to anyone. If you haven't had sex yet, God bless you. Don't do it until you're ready. And when you do get the opportunity, just let it flow. Let it flow. I know. Where have we gone with that?
Excuse the pun.
Where are we? I've lost my track now. Yeah, I don't know why I need to bring that one up. Okay, fine, isn't consent. Giving into sex because someone won't stop badgering you or gets mad at you is still violation.
Yeah, probably.
I agree with that.
They're just giving in to, well, fuck whatever, just get over and done
I agree with that. If someone's not in the mood for something, then I don't think that it should be continued. Like, just stop it right there.
100%.
And just move on.
Yep. 100% agree with that.
No more comments on that one?
No.
Sometimes the best parts are when you and your partner accidentally fart or do something else embarrassing. When you start sharing bodies, sometimes they do bodily things and you laugh about it and choose to accept each other's ways. True intimacy.
Okay. So there was this, I remember, do you remember the first time you ever farted in front of your missus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it wasn't a good moment. It was fucking stinky.
No, I remember in where were we? In the Crown Towers, all right, in Melbourne at the Crown Casino. And she's fucking listen to this. She's gonna piss herself laughing. So she's getting ready. You know, have you been to like the Metropole or the?
Yeah, I'm booked in to go in April.
Okay,
taking the kids over.
So the promenade,
but I've stayed there many times.
Yeah, so the promenade, the Metropole, and the towers, all the exact same layout.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm having a shower.
Amazingly, each tower is very different in price.
Yeah. So this is before I had a mortgage, kids. Before I was was I engaged? I can't. No, I was still just boyfriend girlfriend. 4 nights, $1,600. Who gives a shit, right? Because we had no commitment. There's no nothing, right? I'm like, fuck it, we'll go stay at the Crown Towers. I tell you, it wasn't that much difference. The only difference that I thought was massive. I mean, there was like when you know how you got the toilet, the shower, and was there a bath in the Metropole?
Mm.
Okay, where the bath is a TV screen there.
Yeah.
And when you walk in, there's tiles instead of carpet.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And the pool area is fucking killer.
How good is the pool in the Metropole?
Okay. Picture the Metropole. Oh, my
God.
Picture the Metropole like 100 times better in the towers. It's like you're in a... Is
it one of those infinity pools?
No. It's like a... how do you explain it? It's like you've just entered Cuba. Like, it's just like grand.
Oh, wow.
Right. It's anyway. So I mean, she was in the TV room like section where the bed is. I'm in the shower. We're getting ready to go out, and she hears this little. And I'm like, fuck. Right. She goes, "Did you just fart?" I'm like, "Yep." And she's like, "Oh." I'm like, "Oh, well, since you've heard it now, I just dropped another one, and that was it."
Oh, God. Do you know, for the first 6 months of me dating my wife, I did not fart.
I reckon it was the first...
And it was the most uncomfortable moments.
Yeah.
Because, when you don't let one out, it hurts.
It hurts.
And then the second you sit in the car again, it's like...
Oh, yeah. And then since then, it's their house.
Yeah, now I've almost gotten myself to the point of divorce because of my farts.
Oh, yeah, the house constantly smells like farts, and she gets
two boys. You know, last week I was taking my boys out, and we went out all together, family, and so where were they coming? Oh, it was a Thursday. It was a Thursday night. No, Tuesday night. Tuesday. They were at their grandparents' house, and they came home, and I get this random message from the wife going, my car stinks. And I'm like, I haven't been in your car for 3 days. How can it stink?
When was the last time she was in the car?
No, she was in the car with the boys.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, if you hadn't been in the car in 3 days, when was the last time she was in the car? Like,
No. So this is her. This is her coming home from work on Tuesday and picking up the kids from her parents.
Yeah.
So she goes, my car stinks. And I wrote, what do you mean? She goes, both your boys have been dropping farts and it's fucking hot and I can't open the windows.
It's sort of like is it like
everything's getting circulated. And I'm like, what the hell? What have they eaten? Don't know. Anyway, so they get home. We had dinner and I said, oh guys, it's quite hot. What do you reckon? Should we go get an ice cream? So we jumped in the car. I opened up the car and obviously the car had combusted because it was hot. And you know what new cars are like. Yeah. It gets really hot inside.
Yeah.
Opened up the door and I'm like, what the fuck is that smell? And my wife goes, I told you. I go, could you not have left the windows open? So and the boys think it's funny.
Yeah, of course they do.
Farts are funny.
So when was it? Saturday night or Friday? I can't remember now which night it was. So Dimitri's bottom tooth was wobbly.
Yep.
And he goes, oh, Dad, can you take it out? I'm like, yeah, okay. Anyway, so we're wobbling. And he's sitting like his like legs are wrapped around my waist. I'm just sitting there wobbling, getting a little, getting a bit of tissue, doing this because the other tooth was growing behind. So this thing had to come out. Anyway, and then he just lets it rip on me. I'm like, Dimitri, like you're on my fucking stomach, man. Like, come on. And he's like, what? Like he just kept going on. And anyway, I just, like it was pissing me off. So I just literally grabbed his tooth and just ripped it like that. And he's like, he looked at me like this. Like that, and his tooth is on his lip. I'm like, that's what you fucking get.
Good on you, Dimitri.
Yeah, so he's got a bottom tooth missing.
Next time, drop a shit on him too.
Yeah, right.
Oh, God, that is hilarious. You know what? I'm not going to read the rest of these because these are bloody stupid. Yeah. Absolutely stupid. It gets into really weird shit. So, you know what? I don't even know why the hell I got onto that topic.
Yeah.
But
on to other news.
Yes.
Klopped out.
Gone skis.
Yeah.
Well, what is going on there?
10 years, or how long? 9, 10 years. It's probably enough time for him.
Xavi Alonso. Xavi.
Oh, Xavi, Barcelona coach.
Yeah, he's gone too. He said he wants out at the end of the
season. What do you think? You reckon he's going to go over to Liverpool?
They'd be stupid to take him, but why not? Why not? Who would Liverpool get now?
Oh, fuck.
Do you reckon Mourinho would go over?
Nah. He's done with English Premier League, I think. Not entirely sure, to be honest. But then, yeah, when we were at this comments meeting, my co-coach there, George Drakopoulos, tried ripping out that bloody Arteta's leaving Arsenal. Piss off, mate.
Oh, yeah, a number of people said that.
Nah.
I don't see that happening.
He's not going fucking nowhere, mate.
Not yet anywhere.
No, he's got to win the Premier League title first, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want. We haven't had it in 20 years now. Is it 20 years?
Yeah, about there.
So
we're due for one.
Yeah, nah, man. Klopp gone. And they played Norwich. Was it Norwich? I think this morning in the FA Cup. They won 5-2.
Who's that?
Liverpool. They played this morning.
Was that this morning?
Yeah, and I watched. Hang
on.
They did a what?
No, there you go. FA Cup. Here we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it
5-2? Yeah.
Yeah, and they played You Never Walk Alone, but they all had Jurgen Klopp's banners everywhere.
Oh, shut up.
Nah, you know what I got to say? I got fucking goosebumps.
Oh, Jesus.
It was hectic.
Yeah, so Man U played Newport County. Oh, geez. Newport County, that's Div 2. League 2.
Is it?
Yeah, because they play Wrexham.
What was the score?
Yeah, that was 4-2 Man United's way. Norwich, Liverpool, and Watford, Southampton 1-1. Wow.
Would that have been? Do they need a replay? The draws? Or aggregate?
No, there was no aggregate.
Oh, so they need it. They're
No,
going to do
full
a
time.
replay.
Yeah, so they'll probably do a replay for that one.
Yeah.
What other? Oh, Blackburn plays tomorrow.
Okay.
Blackburn and Wrexham play tomorrow morning.
Ooh.
That will be a good one.
Go Wrexham.
Yeah. I've been following Wrexham.
Where are they? Div 1 now?
So they're they're League 2.
Oh, they're still League 2.
So they were 5 divisions lower than the Premier League. So they were in the non-league division, National League.
Yep.
And then they got promoted to League 2.
Yeah.
They're currently sitting second on that ladder. Top 3 teams go through automatically to League 1. I'm telling you, give it 4 years, I reckon they'll be in the Premier League. The way that they're going.
Fucking what a story that would be.
Oh, my God. That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. Absolutely love to see that.
They should have their Guernsey should be like a Deadpool Guernsey.
Yeah, no shit. No shit. Well, it is red.
Yeah.
It is red. Wow.
AFL coming up soon.
AFL's coming back. Do I give a shit? No. The Super Bowl, that's actually who's in the Super Bowl? The semi-finals were today, or the conference finals as they call them. Let's have a look.
Well, I
do you follow any American sports?
Nah.
See, I follow NBA. I don't really follow the American footy. There we go. So, it looks like the Super Bowl is the 49ers versus the Chiefs. That's a huge matchup. 49ers, wow, and the Chiefs. Okay, that's huge.
See, for me, that means absolutely zero.
Me too.
I don't follow.
Me too. I just know that the 49ers are a good team, apparently.
And did you watch last night's tennis match?
Yes. Jannik Sinner, who they're all saying is Italian, but I think is actually Austrian.
Yeah.
I don't know how Italian he is.
I don't know, man.
But he's representing Italy.
I was going for Medvedev, personally. No,
I didn't want the Russian to win.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I don't like him. I just find him like an arrogant bitch.
I don't know.
I was happy Sabalenka won.
Yeah.
But I would have loved to see the Chinese lady get up too. Yeah. She got raped.
Yeah.
Did you see how bad she lost?
What was it? 6-1,
6-2 or something. That was a shocker.
Yeah, that was bad. That was really bad. Surprised Djokovic got kicked out in the semis. Didn't see that one coming. It's the first time since 2005 either Rafael Nadal, Novak Djokovic, or Roger Federer have not been in the final since 2005. That's how long it's been.
2005.
2005 was the last time Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic, or Rafael Nadal were in the final.
Let's Australian.
You can fact check. No.
Open.
Yeah, you can fact check that. 2004. No, not winners. So I think the winners, there was 2 or 1.
No, I'm just going to look at the winners list so I can see how many of those since 2005 have been won by those top 3.
All of them except 2.
Where are we?
So go back to 2005. Just go to Australian Open.
Yeah, I'm here. All right, so 2005.
Yeah. It was Roger Federer, I think.
Hang on, man. 2005 was Marat Safin versus Leighton Hewitt.
Yeah, since 2005.
Oh, here we go.
2006.
2006, Roger Federer versus Marcos Bagdatis. My God, what a name. Good old Marcos.
Mate, he was probably one of the best tennis players to never win a Grand Slam.
Yeah. Same as Stefanos. No, Stefanos isn't the greatest. He's a fucking piece of work, that one. All right, so then Roger Federer versus Fernando Gonzalez.
Yep.
Novak Djokovic versus Tsonga.
Yep.
Rafael Nadal versus Federer.
Yep.
Federer versus Murray.
Yep.
Djokovic versus Murray.
Yep.
Djokovic versus Nadal.
Yep.
Djokovic versus Murray.
Yep.
Wawrinka versus Nadal.
And Wawrinka won that one.
Yes. Djokovic versus Murray.
Yep.
Djokovic versus Murray.
And I think
Federer
Djokovic
versus Nadal.
Did Djokovic win all those ones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Federer versus Cilic.
But then Murray pipped him in the Wimbledon.
Correct. Yes.
Yep.
Djokovic versus Nadal. Djokovic versus TM. Djokovic versus Medvedev. Nadal versus Medvedev.
And Medvedev, who has
Djokovic versus Tsitsipas last year.
Yeah.
And Sinner versus Medvedev.
Fucking believe that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 years they dominated. And then if you go back further, so in 2004, Federer versus Safin. Yeah. Oh, and then none of their names come up before then.
I think Federer was like dominant in like 2003, 2004. That's when he first sort of was the up and comer. He's my favourite of all time, Federer. Number one. How he went about his business, fantastic.
Man, look at all these names.
Yep.
Sampras. 1987, Pat Cash.
Pat Cash.
And 1988, Pat Cash again.
Yep.
Where are we? Sampras versus Agassi. Do you ever remember that match?
Do
you remember?
Sampras. So I started watching tennis, I reckon, in the late 90s. Yep. Don't forget, I was born in 91.
Yeah.
So I started watching tennis in the late 90s.
So there was I think it was Wimbledon. Was it Wimbledon or US Open?
Which one?
I can't remember. Anyway, there was a match where it went for like 7 hours and Philippoussis was in it.
No, there's one that's longer. I don't know if it was Australian Open or Wimbledon. It went for like 11 hours or 12 hours.
Wow.
Type in longest tennis match ever.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it was played over like 3 days.
3 days?
Yeah.
Longest tennis
11 or 12 hours.
Match ever. Here we go. What's the longest tennis match? This is from ESPN, so it's a pretty reliable source. Wimbledon, 2010 Wimbledon. John Isner defeated Nicholas Mahut, 11 hours and 5 minutes.
11 hours, there you go.
God. Oh, yeah, battled over the course of 3 days, including a 138-point fifth set. Fuck. That is huge.
Could you imagine being that bloke that fucking lost?
Wimbledon at the time did not use a tiebreak in the fifth set.
Yeah.
So that means that the fifth set had to be won by two matches, 2 games. Two games.
Yeah.
You had to be up 2 games.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, to stop that.
That was
10-point tiebreaker now for the last set. And then
So he won the final set, 70 games to 68. Holy shit balls.
Yeah.
That is huge.
Yeah, that's that's why they brought in the tiebreaker in the end, because of that game.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I'm a big tennis fan. I remember my sister took me to the Adelaide, what's it called?
Oh, yeah, the Adelaide International.
Adelaide International a few years ago. That was pretty good. And I said to Katrina, we are going to the Australian Open.
Do you know, my wife was discussing that today and said, oh, maybe we should go next year.
I'm really trying to see if I can find tickets.
Let's do it. We'll go together.
I want to go to 2 semi-finals and the final, and I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the semi-finals are on the Friday night.
It's quite long, though. Like, if you're going to plan to be there for the whole 2 weeks.
No.
It's too long. But
last weekend.
You just want to go to the last few games.
Last weekend.
Yeah.
The 2 semi-finals on the Friday. Fuck around Saturday. And then, if you want to go to the women's final, but, maybe just go to...
Oh, you're there.
Mate.
You're there.
How much are the tickets? You know how much are tickets?
Oh, come on, man. That wouldn't be that much.
$400 each.
For a final.
For the final.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to go to the men's final as well.
So 400 for the women's final.
Yeah, probably.
And what, is the men's the same?
Yeah.
Wow.
It says 16.
Open discussion now about tennis, right?
Right.
Because I hear this this debate quite a lot. The women are saying they should be getting paid as much as the men when it comes to tennis, right?
They do.
Not always. I know the prize money.
No, the prize money in Australian Open's equal.
Is it?
Yes.
Since when?
Since 3 years, maybe 4 years ago.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's both 4 million each. I think 4.1 million.
Hang on, is that so? That's just Australian.
I don't know about all the others, but Australian Open is equal. Yes. Now, John McEnroe has had multiple interviews. So Serena and Venus Williams played this guy that was 201st seeded, and he beat Serena Williams 6-1 and beat Venus Williams like 6-2 or something.
Yeah, right.
And they were saying that John McEnroe said that Serena Williams wouldn't beat the top 500 males.
Wouldn't?
She wouldn't. No. Because the male serve is like fucking
210.
Yeah, average 200s. Yeah.
But this is the question that I have though, right? Okay, I love the fact that they're both 4.15 or whatever it is, but you can see how strenuous a men's game is.
Yeah. Well, for starters, it's
you look at yesterday's
5-setter,
right? Sinner was 2 sets down, and the way that he came back and blew Medvedev out of the water, that wasn't it just happened in an hour thing. No. Last night went on for a few hours. Yeah. The amount of stress that would have put on both the bodies and, the time and all that. Whereas a women's game, like Saturday, for example, she completely came out and annihilated the Chinese opponent, Zhen.
In just over an hour?
In just over an hour, and she walked away with the same amount of money. They only played 2 sets.
All right, what John McEnroe says, I just want to keep quoting John McEnroe, right, because he's the one that has said all this sort of stuff. He said, okay, if the women want to get paid the same as men, we'll stick them in the same division. They want to be equal. Stick them put them in the ATP tour.
So have an open format. Doesn't matter what sex you are. No. You want to get paid the same, you play the same. Yep.
And he goes, and they wouldn't make the top 500. Serena Williams wouldn't make the top 500 at all.
See,
but she's a fucking ripper athlete in her own right. Like, she's a good athlete. But they just don't have the power than what the men do.
The genetics of a male is a lot stronger. It's a bigger build than a female, right? Yeah. And you can't argue that. That's biology.
Well, it's even like, do you remember on Fox 8 years and years ago, they had Football Superstar? Do you remember that on Fox 8? All right, so what they did, they grabbed a kid from each state in Australia, and it was like a competition, right? And whoever won got a contract with Sydney FC.
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, so they had these guys, and they played against the Matildas, right? The Aussie female national team. They fucking destroyed them. Some 16-year-old kids, 15, 16-year-old kids destroyed the Matildas.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. I'm not saying, we just had the Women's World Cup. It was fucking fantastic.
But see, again, I don't have anything against the women getting paid the same amount of money in soccer, football, whatever, because it's the same game. It's the same length. It's the same amount of people on the pitch, right?
But they're not drawing.
No, but I'm not talking about the reasons behind it. I'm just saying that I don't have an issue with it, right? But you're right. when it comes to the men's World Cup versus the women's World Cup, right? You're talking about billions of people around the world watching and investing into the men's World Cup with only a few hundred thousand, maybe even a couple million watching the women's World Cup.
Well, that's even, remember, obviously you remember John Cosmina.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, no, so it wasn't John Cosmina. It was Dicko. Remember Dicko from Australian Idol?
Oh, Australian Idol. Dicko, okay.
Yeah. So he was on the some show, morning show or something. And the hosts were like sort of drilling him, saying, why aren't the A-League, like the W League, females, paid as much as the A-League men's? And he goes, because it's not attractive enough. It's not, when you guys start drawing the crowds, then you'll get paid the same, right? And he goes, and the quality's, I don't want to start getting into it. He goes, but the quality's not as good, so it's not attractive for people to go watch, right? And then she starts blasting him. And he's like, hold on. He goes, name one player. He goes, you, as a female, name one player from the W League. He goes, you can't because you don't care. This is what he's saying on the morning show, like whatever it was. He goes, so when they pull the same crowds, get the same sponsors, the same this, the same that, then they can get paid equally. I was like, fucking hell, all right. I'm like listening to this guy speak. I'm like, well, he's fucking right in a way. But then that's not taking away from the spectacle that it was watching the Women's World Cup, because it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like I had my brother-in-law's 30th, and it was at one of the Westlake pub.
Oh yeah, the night that Australia was playing.
I had
a 21st that night.
It was the penalty shootout.
Correct.
Mate,
that was a great night.
All
great
up on
night.
our feet.
Great night.
I was like, fucking yeah, like right.
Yeah, look, I agree with you. It was a great spectacle. It was fantastic, and you know, we gave so much time to it. Maybe because it was on home soil too.
100%.
But the Matildas were outperforming. They were doing fantastic. It was a great spectacle to watch. Now, having said that, right, I raised a point today on my Facebook. I made a comment about a current soccer tournament happening around the world.
Okay, I read that. My father-in-law says to me, like, I went to drop the kid because my in-laws picked up my kids from school, right? Anyway, I went past there to see him before I went to the meeting tonight because I wasn't going to see him, right? Anyway, he goes, oh, did you see the Socceroos playing last night? I'm like, what? I go, when? And he goes, they played, who'd they fucking play?
Someone.
Anyway, someone, right? I go, no, I was watching the tennis. Didn't even know it was on. He goes, no, we won. And I go, oh, okay. I go, what was it, friendly? Like, I didn't know what it was. He goes, no, it's he goes for the Asian
Cup.
We're in the quarters or semis or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, I haven't heard not one fucking thing about that. And then I read your comment.
Yep. No one's heard anything because no one knows about it. The media are not making a massive thing about it. No one actually knows what's going on.
What's it saying?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's bizarre. No one actually knows that Australia is currently competing in the Asian Cup, which is like in our region. In our region, it's the second highest cup after the World Cup. Yeah. Anyway, that's how it is.
Wow, that ended a bit fiery, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. But all right, so what do you reckon? Have we said enough? Have we talked enough?
I think so.
I need a really big glass of water. It's hot in here. And I'm looking at your bottle and I'm thinking, why didn't I bring mine?
I'll bring it everywhere, mate.
Good episode. Just one-on-one tonight.
Yeah.
Guys, we're on the verge of announcing a few sponsors as well.
Yes.
So fingers crossed we can announce them soon, get the contracts all signed up. But hey, great episode, just one-on-one. We talked about a few random things tonight. We touched on our mental health as well. Again, like always, please go talk to someone if there are moments in need where you just are feeling lost or overwhelmed. go talk to someone. If not, reach out to us on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram.
Yep.
2 Blokes in a Pod. That's it.
Thanks, guys, for listening and watching.
It's the Mutts. Have a good one. See you next week.
See you later, mate.